Okay, I hope you guys are ready. This is our last unit, Unit 12, Australia. This is our review session. Again, there's no retest for this test, so make sure you're watching this video over and over and over again. If you don't understand any concept, please let me know. Of course, make sure you have your study guide right in front of you. If you do not have a study guide, get yourself a paper and a pencil or just your notebook and simply write down the stuff that you don't know so that you can repeat and memorize. Let's go ahead and start. I put all the answer already so you can pause at any time to check over, put down the answer, or if you just want to copy down the answer so that you can remember it. So let's go ahead and start. With A right here, we have our Indian Ocean. Geography, I believe, is going to be the easiest, right? We do this every day. This is Indian Ocean. Of course, then we go to B, the Great Victorian Desert. Then C, Ayers Rock, Uluru Rock. Then, of course, we got D, the Great Dividing Range. And F, which we got the Great Barrier Reef. Make sure you guys understand Great Dividing Range is a mountain range. Great Barrier Reef in a little area right here, but it's water. It's water. It's a reef. Then we go to G. It's Coral Sea. Make sure you know that this is Coral Sea, and E is Pacific Ocean. But of course, if there's only one little key for ocean right here, there's 100% chance that this will not be Pacific Ocean. Instead, it's going to be Coral Sea, because if there's like, as you see, there's GE. Coral Sea cannot be here. That's why. Make sure you understand. All this is Pacific Ocean. That's correct. But make sure you know G, this location right here on the northeast of Australia, is Coral Sea. Now, when it comes to our political map, very easy because it's all about our location, right? Western Australia, west, Northern Territory, north, South Australia, south. And then we look at our Tasmania, then Victoria is on our northeast and southeast side, and Canberra, our capital of Australia. Then we have New South Wales. Then we got our Queensland. Make sure you copy it down. This should be honestly very easy. Hope you guys got it on it. Let's go ahead and move. Part two, location, climate, and natural resources. So when it comes to location, climate, natural resources, guys, very, very easy because we're going to talk about where most people live, how's the location, and how's the population. And it's very easy because the north is very tropical and wet, and we know that the population of north is very low because we know a lot of people, most people live in the coast, the southeast part of Australia. Now central Australia is hot and dry. Of course, we know that Uluru Rock is there. Two-thirds of Australia is an outback, so of course that will count as an outback. Population is very low. Southern Australia, that's where temperate is mild, is temperate, and it's, population, most of the Australian lives here in a city like Sydney, Melbourne, and of course Canberra. So a lot of people just live in the southern Australia. Make sure you know people live in the coast of Australia. Where are most of Australia's top trading partner is in Asia because Australia is closer to Asia. The three of most important natural resource, of course, they have wheat that they grow, and they have livestock, which are the animal that they domesticate, and they have fish. They're an island, so of course they'll fish. Most Australian live, of course, urban area. I'm gonna pause for a second. Go ahead, copy it down. Oh, by the way, the secret code. The first two letter of secret code is SU. Let's go ahead and move. Part three, impact of English colonization on Aboriginal people. Who are the original inhabitants of Australia and where did they come from? That's a typo, classic. Um, of course, they're called Aboriginal. Make sure you know the root word, right? the original people, the people that came from that continent, the people that are original, the originals. 11. Describe the lifestyle and culture of these indigenous people. So, Aboriginal language from 30 language family. They also have a deep spiritual belief religion called Dreamtime. And make sure you know how they were told these Dreamtime. It wasn't that they wrote a Dreamtime book. It's not that they, made a movie about Dreamtime. No, they told it. It was orally. The great grandparents pushed down the Dreamtime story down. It went down. It came down, passed down, 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 down. And of course, these Australian indigenous people were nomadic hunter and gatherer, meaning they were moving around Australia trying to hunt for food, try to get some fruit to gather. And we also know that they invented boomerang, of course, boomerang for hunting, and they used rock art to tell the story and make sure to keep record. Which European country colonized Australia in 18th century? The good old England, UK. A large number of first settlers in Australia were prisoner. We know that at first, my boy, well, not my boy, the English boy, Captain James Cook decided to say, this land is very, very good to send some prisoners down. It's an island, it's a big island. And if we send prisoner here, there's no way they can go out. They can't escape this land. So let's go ahead and send them. So a large number of the first settler in Australia were prisoners. Number 14, what killed over half of the Aboriginal population is European disease. Of course, this was because the natives, the indigenous, the Aboriginal people were not used to the European disease that came through. So just like the Columbian exchange, just like the triangle slave trade, the disease was passing through, which killed a lot of the population. Now, next, what advantage did the English settler have over the Aboriginal population as they colonized Australia? They had better weapons. We understand that these Aboriginal people had boomerang and they had spears, they had arrows, but they did not have technology such as gun. You cannot win a gunfight with a sword. It's that simple. Now, next, the effect of English colonization. Now we're talking about the effect of the Aboriginal population. When it comes to language, Australia now mainly speak English. Now you guys, of course, pointed out that how the accent is very similar to the English. That's correct, because that is where it came from. Most Aboriginal language were pretty much wiped out, and only 48,000 Australians today speak an indigenous language. When it came to literacy, children are generally being beginning school. So they go to just little school in elementary, middle, whatever. There's barely any high school. And of course, only a small percentage of those community graduate. It says that only 10% of Aboriginal graduate. And if they have low literacy rate, what does that mean for their standard of living? Low, of course. Now, 25, health. Their number one disease is heart disease, cardiovascular, meaning heart. That's the number one cause of death. Life expectancy is actually 10 years lower than the English people. So, meaning if English people live up to 80, Aboriginal will only live up to 70s. Of course, this happens because of the healthcare system that they have. They're not really able to use all the health benefit. And of course, we know later on these Aboriginals weren't even in census until 1970s. That is less than 60 years ago. So of course, that played a very big role when it comes to health. The example of Aboriginal basic right improving. So just now, when I was talking about Aboriginal people not being census, meaning they were not recognized as or people, they were not recognized as people. So, of course, the way that a basic right improve is that one, they earn right to vote, and they earn a right to be in a parliament. They also were included in the census. So before they had even a law that they legally let the English people, you can discriminate Aboriginal people legally, not illegally, legally. So of course that improved. 27 is that many generations of discrimination and mistreatment have left much of Aboriginal popular in a cycle of the answer is poverty because of the literacy rate being down, because of the discrimination, because of the health, because their language is wiped out. Now they're in a cycle of poverty. Now let's move on to government. Please make sure you copy down and pause whenever you need to. Let's go ahead and move to government. So, true and false. In Australia's parliament, the political party that has the largest number of members in the House of Representative choose the chief executive. That is true. Of course, parliamentary democracy mean the parliament choose the prime minister. Simple. Australia chief executive is the president. That is false. It's not the president. What is it? The prime minister. I don't know why. Oh no. Let's see. Number three, Australia's Governor General lead the national government and makes the new law. The answer is wah, false. It stands in for the monarch. That's what Governor General is. It's an acting duty as a monarch. They talk for the monarch, but we know that monarchs are ceremonial. They're not real. They're just a little mascot. So even Governor General, they're not really nobody. Now, four, Australia chief executive is part of the legislative branch. That's true because parliamentary democracy mean the branches are really together. They're not really acting separate. They're together. That's parliamentary democracy together. Chief executive is part of legislative. Five, in Australia, the monarch power is limited by the constitution. That is true. Australia have constitutional monarchy because they were colonized by the British. So the British, the Queen, and the King. So now King act like they got some power, but they really don't. It's a mascot. Six, one way that the United Kingdom government is different than Australia is that the executive branch is independent from legislative branch. It's false. They're both parliamentary democracy, meaning they have the same exact government system. Seven, in Australia, citizens are responsible for electing the prime minister and member of parliament. The answer is false. Parliamentary democracy, I told you guys, you vote for the name of the government. In parliamentary democracy, you vote for the parliament. It's parliamentary democracy, you vote for parliament. So citizens are only voting for member of parliament. 8. Citizen must be 16 to participate in Australia's government. The answer will be false. You have to be 18 for you to be able to vote in Australia. Number 9, executive branch and legislative branch have separate powers in parliamentary democracy. The answer is false. That would be in presidential democracy. In parliamentary democracy, legislative branch and executive branch have the same power. Number 10, in Australia, elections are fair and the country constitution protect the people right and freedom. That is true. They have a democracy, meaning elections are fair and they're able to choose whoever they want. It's just that because they're parliamentary democracy, they can only vote for the members of the parliament. Now, let's go to Australia's economy system. Guys, it's almost over. Don't worry, trust me. Oh, by the way, the other part of the code is MM. So far we have SUMM. By the way, let's go. Australia's economy system. What type of economic system does Australia have? They have mixed economy, lean to market. Australia is one of the countries that is very, very market, by the way. And what is bartering? And why are we talking about that? Of course, because Aboriginals were traditional. They use traditional economy, meaning they use bartering. And bartering is trading without the use of money, meaning I give you rice, you give me plants, I give you plants, you give me fruits, you give me fruits, I give you. So they're just trading without using money. And Aboriginal use this. Don't get this twisted. Aboriginal is different from Australia as a country. Only 3% of Australian population is Aboriginal, meaning Australia as a whole is still mixed economy leading pure market. But Aboriginals, yes, they use more of a bartering. They use traditional economy. Of course, make sure you label Australia on the continuum that they're very close to pure market. And when it comes to voluntary trade, the three things Australia specialize, they specialize in mineral, fishing, and of course, livestock. How does voluntary trade help the economy? Who does Australia trade with? Voluntary trade helps because if you don't have something, you want to get something. And if you have something, you want to get exchange with something you don't have. That makes the grow the economy. And Australia trade with, of course, Asian country and of course USA. Number 16, define currency exchange. Now, currency exchange is trading country currency for another, meaning you trade United States dollar to Mexican peso, you trade Vietnamese dong to Korean won. You trade Korean won to Japanese yen. But you're trading currency with another country's currency because if you go to Japan and you give me a peso, I'm going to tell you what you want me to do with this. So you need to make sure you have the right currency when you're going to the right country. Number 17, why does international trade require a system for exchanging currency? It makes trading easier. Again, you go to another country, you need different currency. Simple. Now we're going to do four factors of economic growth. Easy, right? Human capital, the definition of skill, knowledge, education is the jobs that you get by getting educated. Things like nurses, things like teachers, things like engineers, things like construction worker, things like janitor, all these things that needs knowledge, skill, education. Capital goods, simple. The thing that is man-made is man-made goods. Things like phone, table, chair, all these man-made goods are capital good. And of course, you increase capital good by using technology, machine. The more machine, more technology, the better. Like for example, look at cars now. Did you guys see the Cybertruck? That's literally because of upgrade of technology, upgrade of machine. Now they got literally steel as a car, just literal. I need to buy that. Anyway, let's move on. Natural resources. Natural resources, simple. Nature, things from nature. Tree, water, grass, go touch it. Anyway, move on. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is someone that starts a business. Example, Walt Disney, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. I mean, you got a lot of entrepreneurs. I hope one day some of you guys can be entrepreneur too, successful. I see a lot of potential in some of y'all. I'll be honest. 22, Australia has a high GDP per capita and, of course, a high standard of living. Guys, let me tell you, living in Australia is expensive. It's so expensive to live there. How has Australia invested in human capital? They spend large percentage of GDP on technology and machinery. Again, human capital to increase human capital. You increase. Nope, nope, no. I don't know who wrote this. No, guys. Yes, you guys need to catch me. To invest in human capital, to invest in human is education. Focus. I was doing this just to make sure that you're paying attention. You need to spend large percentage of GDP on education. And how has Australia invested in capital goods? By machine and technology. Of course, now look at how fast computers are nowadays. They even got quantum physics that they use for computer. If you know, you know. Number 25, what is the relationship between literacy rate and high standard of living? Higher literacy rate, higher standard of living. The last two letter of the code is ER. All right. So if you got the sacred code, make sure you write that in a written response at the end for a bonus 8 point on the test. Well, I hope you guys have a great day. This was it. I really, really enjoyed having you guys as a student. You guys were all amazing. Thank you for the journey. Thank you for all the experience. Until the end, man, I will always keep in contact. Make sure you reach out to me if you need any question, if you have any question answer, history, social study, math, science, anything life. I got y'all. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day, your week, month, year, and life. Mafuko out.